Hey everybody. Hey, I think I owe an apology to anyone out there who may care about me and be concerned. I received several email along those lines following the video I made, I think it was yesterday, called Becoming Mac and the Boys, which I didn't mean at the time that I uploaded the video and I made it uploaded. I didn't mean it to be a as Thoreau would say, an ode to dejection, but I can see how it may certainly come across that way. Come here, you mosquitoes. I could definitely see how that could be the case. Because what I was basically related to the statement that I made was that nothing interests me anymore. Nothing lifts my eyebrows or quickens my heartbeat. And that was an exaggeration. And I wish I had better word power and I was able to say it better. I'll try to correct my mistake. It's not so much that nothing, and I did explicitly say that in the video. I did explicitly say nothing has my interest anymore. Life is without almost saying without meaning, and I do mean it that way. That is what I mean. But really, what I mean, what I meant, and what I want to say now is that it's less about meaning and more about being won over by the appearance of meaning that the world around us gives. I believe that as a student, as a biologist, and I'm an amateur biologist, the ideas that I have about biology are subject to grave error, but I believe that this whole system that we have, the thoughts that we have, the emotions that we carry, that propel us along towards the decisions that we make, partners that we choose, the things that we love, the things that we acquire, the things that make our heart go pitter-patter. All of those things are basically designed by the experience of our ancestors. I mean, way back ancestors, as well as the more near ones. The best approaches, best practices of survival, and they're really they don't have inherent goodness of their own. And love, for example, is not inherently a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing by virtue of the fact that we describe it as such, and and we do so because of an inner bias that we have, an inner sensation that we have that it's a good thing. But really, in of itself, it's nothing more than a disposition towards an action that, if we don't do that, will likely leave us without children. And because it's through love that we wind up with a partner and a marriage and commitment and children and the whole kit and caboodle. So, and everything is like that. So, really, what's happening is I feel like the wool is off my eyes now, and I see that for what it is. And as a result, I don't feel like I'm as easily fooled anymore by the world around me. I don't, you might be going, yeah, right, Kurt, sure, what do you know? And I don't. What I can only say as much as far as I think and as far as I observe, and we're each subject to our own opinions and biases, and this is mine. I have the biased opinion that the world is basically the the biological elements of life are basically a complex chemical reaction it becomes more refined and successful by virtue of by virtue of genetically refining what works, whether that be through the physical elements or the psychology of how we think as higher organisms. So and when you realize that, if you prescribe to that, if you feel that way I do, then the world basically becomes rather meaningless in a way. Take a sip of my coffee here. But that does not mean that it isn't a pleasant place or a fun place. It's just that when my mind is along those lines, there really isn't much that interests me. It's you kind of realize what's going on, or at least you think you'd realize what's going on, and it really doesn't mean a whole lot. And that doesn't mean that I'm in a state of despair, or that I don't enjoy life, or that I can't, or that I'm not happy. It simply means that when I'm at my better moments, it's kind of a whoa! Actually, I got a hornet. At my better moments, it's all kind of a level, a level feeling. It's neither up nor down. It's just kind of this level thing. And that doesn't mean that I don't want to live anymore, or that I'm unhappy necessarily or anything. I have my ups and downs just like anybody else. In fact, when I forget this, which I do a lot of the time, I really enjoy life. You know, I'm having a cookie right now, and I don't bite the cookie and tell myself that the good flavor is some sort of a conspiracy or something, although I believe that in fact it is my body trained to have ideas about what tastes good in order to get the good things in my body, or that we have taste buds that allow us to discern you know, certain types of foods one from another. I don't think about that stuff. You know, when I'm not cognitive about it, it's just yummy cookie. When I see the Ashinagai hornet, hey, I love hornets. I get excited about them. When I go hiking in the woods, I love that. When I hear my daughter laugh, and warms my heart. When my wife gives me a hug and tells me she loves me, it means the world to me. Like, you know, when I talk to my mother on the phone, or my brother, or people that care. When I get an email from some of my friends who wrote to me after I made that email yesterday and told me they were concerned about me, that means a lot to me. Well, I'm not in a state of despair. Although I do have my ups and downs, just like anybody. In fact, it's probably better now than it ever was, because now I feel kind of more balanced than I ever have in the past. You know, the downs don't nail me like they used to. It's just kind of like when you've been through it enough. You know, it's just like yeah, come on. You know, you kind of when you're fresh and young. You know, when the downs come, you forget that it's just like riding a raft on the ocean. The trough and the peaks, the trough and the peaks. You forget that another peak will come. The sun will rise another day. Now it doesn't bother me so much. The sun will come another day. You know, I don't fool myself anymore that there's any meaning in life. And I enjoy my cookies and my hikes and the hornets and my daughter and my family and the like. And my wife is aware of these things. I've talked to her about that. Although she's not contemplative in the same way that I am, although she is a very thoughtful person. She has her ideas. She doesn't need to think about them, and she probably humors me with my thoughts. But she's familiar with my thinking along these lines, and for the most part is in accord with it as well. My daughter, she's too young to understand this stuff yet, but as she gets older, she have our talks, and we will have our talks, and I'll explain more to her about it to her, and she'll gain hopefully an understanding of the why behind the manifestation of my disposition. So thank you for your concern, those who wrote to concern. I am going to sign off this video, and I hope I've allayed any of those concerns to a degree. You know, it doesn't mean that I'm perfectly content all the time. Certainly not. That's what friends are for, right? To be concerned about one another at times, and I appreciate it. Now it's time to enjoy that delicious coffee, enjoy another bite of my cookie, and then get back on my bike and enjoy a nice bike ride. Get home and I got some movies to share with my family this evening. We're going to have a nice dinner that I'm going to go out and get. I can't cook, so I'll go out and get something yummy and proceed with life. I hope you all proceed with life in your way as well. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.